Hello, everybody. This is Basim Zafar, founder and CEO of Experts Vision Consulting. Like I have been working in government for more than 20 years as a professor in Al-Qura University. Then I have been working as a CIO for different governmental organization, and then I opened my consultation firm. After the Vision 2030, we find that a lot of governmental organization has international companies who came and did for them strategic vision and try to implement it. And we find that there is a gap between strategic and implementation. For that, we take this niche and we are specialized in execution strategy in digital transformation, smart city, and enterprise solution. With has many projects with the government, and that's it.
Assalamu alaikum. My name is Hisham Hammami. I used to be the CIO for Ministry of Hajj for about 8 years, and now I'm in a confidential company. I cannot mention the company name. I can talk about what we did in the Ministry of Hajj with the Smart Hajj platform, and we have an initiative to bring Islamic coin or Hajj coin to manage, using of course blockchain in the back end to manage the money transactions, especially with countries that has difficulty taking money out, like North African countries, some African countries. They're not allowed to take more than a certain amount of money. With Wadi Mecca, we had, with AVC, Dr. Basim, we had the project for Smart Hajj platform to automate and ease the life of pilgrims and collect data and come and give the decision makers proper data on how to really serve the guest of Allah with the Hajj and Umrah. Right now, where I'm at, we're into like construction and operation and maintenance and on mega projects, and we want to use blockchain to manage contractors, manage payment, smart contracts, and ease and maintain actually the integrity of the data and the progress of the data.
Hello everyone, this is Waleed Alasmary. I'm an associate professor at Al-Qura University. I have been an academic for more than 15 years. I have done some projects on blockchain and computer security locally and internationally. I have published more than 50 papers. Recently I have more than 80 research papers that are peer-reviewed in blockchain related topics. I will talk about some of the history of blockchain in the cryptographic domain. And recently I have been a research and innovation consultant, and I have worked on multiple blockchain-based projects. We will go through some of them in the discussion.
How have you seen blockchain evolved, and where do you think it can go that can help the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia?
Yes, sure. This is a bit critical. As an academic, I'll be talking about this to enlighten everyone. If we start before blockchain, what happened when two people exchange data? They would like to make sure that the data is the same data and they're communicating it correctly. It's integrate. Okay. So cryptography people, they used to use certain methodologies between two parties, and it was successful. They used, for example, cyclic redundancy check. It's basically using some cryptographic tool to check that the message sent from one person is the same as the other person. There were multiple consensus algorithms that make sure that this data we agree on it. Right. But why we needed blockchain, we had to move to another level. When we moved to a certain scenario where we need verification, as you said, we need to verify the data, we need to know the owner of that data, we need to make sure the data is not forged, it's not fraud, and we also need to trace it in real time. And also we need to have a system that's shared with everybody. It's not only two parties. So this is where cryptography, where blockchain came out of normal cryptography. Does that mean that we don't need crypto anymore? We don't need public key, private key? That's not the case. This is also built on top of a blockchain. Blockchain solves certain problems. We have to choose the right problem where we apply it in digital transformation.
Dr. Basim, following up on that, what do you think are the right types of problems that blockchain can solve, and what are you seeing your clients ask for? Because we don't want to use blockchain for everything, so what are the key problems you recommend it be used to solve?
I am working in different projects with government, mainly the EBMO, Project Management Office, where we set up a program to monitor the progress of project in different regions, like 5 regions around the kingdom. Actually, I think the next step that we need to have it here, that we can apply the smart contract in those projects to be able to monitor the project in lifetime. The problem that currently we're having, that the update of those projects is not happening daily or even quarterly. There's a lot of gaps, and also there's some concern about the accuracy of the data. If we introduce the smart contract for governmental project in any fields, I think it will be very useful for the decision maker to have the status of all projects. And if there is any delay in any project, the decision maker, even the company who is working in the project, sometimes the decision maker in this company, they don't know what is the progress on the ground. There is a big gap in project management using the traditional method. Having smart contract built on blockchain, I think will have very big advance on this, and can solve a lot of those problems.
Right, yeah, and smart contracts really need blockchain, because if you're going to, for example, have an auto-executing agreement saying this happens, I get paid X amount, you can't rely on someone in the middle. You need a blockchain to automatically execute that. Let's go to Hisham and talk about some uses that would be unique to this kingdom. You mentioned Hajj-Coin. Tell us about what the value of creating something like that would be and why it needs a blockchain.
Because a lot of time when you talk to
Sure.
people about blockchain, right
Yeah.
away they,
Yeah,
Bitcoin. It's not
course,
only
yeah.
Bitcoin, but the idea here to really take Hajj and the service of pilgrims to the next level, you need really data gathering. And if you collect data traditional way, it's really not very verifiable in a proper way. Especially your customers are all over the world, and different languages, different cultures, different habits, different way of doing things. And so we wanted to take it to the next level. And also the Ministry of Hajj is the face of Saudi Arabia. A lot of people visit web pages or search for Hajj and Umrah. So the reflect of that data should be appearing to reflect the advancement of Saudi Arabia. So our target was to build first enough data to give the decision maker proper decision and where to concentrate, how to really collect the data requirement for the pilgrims. Because as I said, they're different nationality, they practice in a different way. Mm-hmm. And then from there, because also for Hajj there's a limitation on how many people can come from every country. Right. So with every year there's like contract signed with every government agencies. So we wanted to introduce the smart contract. So instead of they come and visit here, validate it through some type of blockchain. But when we started this, it was too early. Blockchain was not yet in here, and when we talk about it, as I said, it was like, oh, Bitcoin. Should I invest in Bitcoin? It's like, I'm not talking about Bitcoin. Right. So the challenge was it's too early. The adoption of Saudi Arabia to the Bitcoin, it was still not there. We went and talked to the Islamic Bank to start the Hajj coin or Islamic coin, because also since it's money, you have to validate is it halal or haram. That's a big challenge. Mm-hmm. And with Islamic Bank guaranteeing it with assets or something, we can bring that piece to validate the currency. Mm-hmm. But still, was still it was too early, and was not the country have to adapt it before you continue from there.
That's fascinating, because sometimes things are too early, right? Do you think it's still too early?
I think this is the right time.
Okay.
Digital transformation in Saudi Arabia came a long way and really fast. And it's not only Saudi Arabia, across the world. COVID had an added value to everybody else. It accelerated the digital transformation, which caused a lot of issue even with hardware. Cisco just announced minimum hardware delivery 1 year to a year and a half. HP the same, because everybody's accelerating at the same time. Manpower is scarce. Subject matter experts are wanted everywhere. You could go any country and get a citizenship if you want to, like the US, and because they really, really hunger for technical staff. So the challenge here is not only Bitcoin, it's everywhere with digital transformation across the world. People want to work from home, they need remote access, so you need to build your technology and capability. And I think blockchain and contracting and all this stuff, if it comes to the next level, you can sit at home and do everything you want with there. Digital identity, binding it to the digital identity of the person, metaverse world, your digital twin can do a lot of work for you in the back end.
Exactly. Waleed, are there any other types of uses of blockchain that you've been thinking about, studying, that would be particularly useful or relevant to the kingdom?
Yes, sure. If we would like to look at Saudi Arabia as a fully digitally transformed country, we would like to have everything digital. Everything digital. So you need to have every asset and everyone in a digital format. No paper anymore.
Right.
This has been happening somehow in Estonia. And
or Tuvalu is trying to do that too,
yes.
a small country, right?
So to have a fully tech government, which is called GovTech, definitely you need a blockchain for that. Is it now?
No. Right.
We don't know, but we have to start somewhere. We can have a blockchain for one thing, and you had many examples of that, Yemi, but certainly we can do a blockchain for everything. We can start with one blockchain for agriculture, one blockchain for IT, one blockchain for Tawakkalna, and then after that we can merge them somehow. There are no clear use cases for that, but you can see it at a very high level. Yeah. And it's coming, but we don't know when.
Sure, right. Dr. Basim, what do you think are some of the challenges to introducing blockchain technology into the kingdom, and how would you recommend to people in this room or watching that participants try to overcome them?
I think the main challenges we're facing currently in Saudi Arabia is about regulation. Currently, Saudi Arabia was among the first countries who take initiatives in blockchain as a pilot project. I think there was many projects in central bank where they transfer money using blockchain, and in zakat, tax, and customs authority. Also, they have several projects. CITC also have a separate pilot project. But I think to legalize this, we need to work on regulation. There are 3 bodies who are having a sandbox regulation that can regulate those kind of technology, emerging technology. Central Bank, SAMA, has a sandbox for testing the new services using emerging technology in live environment, such as blockchain. For financial services, CITC also has another sandbox that they can test new emerging technology that related to communication sector. And Digital Government Authority also, they have initiative in having sandbox to regulate the platforms and the application.
Let's talk about smart cities. This is a nation, kingdom that is very at the forefront of driving to smart cities. Give us some examples, any of you, of how you think blockchain technology can be best used in smart city technology.
I can start by IoT.
Okay.
When you have distributed systems, there must be a blockchain. So when you have those devices that are talking to each other, though we don't have them yet, they still have the central cellular network. So that's an issue here. Everything that would like to have an IoT is connected somehow. Even when it is connected to a free unlicensed data, it goes to the internet backhaul through something centralized. So to democratize IoT, blockchain could be the solution where ad hoc network can be there without going peer-to-peer through an authentication.
Right, yeah, because IoT devices can be connected they should be transmitting peer-to-peer.
Exactly.
Or they don't have to, but there's more value if they do.
Yes, exactly. And when you have an IoT, you can do anything in smart city. You can do transportation, you can do smart energy, you can do smart grids, you can take it to the next level of use cases and applications.
Right. And I think people forget the peer-to-peer aspect of what a blockchain can be in transmitting data, because that is critical, peer-to-peer device communication. And peer-to-peer, like blockchain, got a bad reputation in the 1990s because of peer-to-peer file sharing. But a peer-to-peer data network actually can be very powerful. What about in the world of artificial intelligence? How do you foresee blockchain being useful for that? Anyone? Let's go to Hashim.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Actually, yes. I think also from the security aspect, if you, with the blockchain, if you bring a digital identity, digital twin of a person, you can validate it really fast.
Instantly.
Instead of going to central. And of course, that depends on AI in the back end because you do computer vision, iris, certain texture of the person. And we have, on top of that, about the peer-to-peer, we had a use case. One of the challenges was the busing in Hajj, for example. We have 50,000 buses. And we wanted to track pilgrims inside with the bus, with the infrastructure. That's before 5G. It was a challenge. So we did peer-to-peer between the buses. Because they pass next to each other, transfer the data until they go to a central location. We did not consider blockchain at that time. I did think about it because it's too early to really find somebody to help us build it, to validate it's going to central. But I think blockchain will be a great asset in that design.
Okay. Dr. Basim, what about in the telecom space? Any thoughts on how blockchain can help improve data in the telecom world?
I think there is like other session about using IPv6, and I am participating in that session. Actually, like I have been working while doing my PhD in America in a project funded by NASA, where we was working with a huge amount of data collected by spaceport radar, moving around the air like 15 times a day and collecting a lot of information. I think having a big block of data currently, like reaching to 4 gigabit per second, the block size for gigabit, I think it's will make a lot of application on this kind of network. Also, like for example, if somebody who on like has original music or original voice, original picture, I think he can move it through the network where he has the original copy, and all the copies that distributed in the network belong to him, and he can share it or give access to it through the network. I think it will open integrating a BSV blockchain with IPv6. I think will open a lot of application. Each person maybe will have his unique IP address. Right. It will be as his ID number, and he can carry it with him if he move from even one platform to another platform, and it will make it easy to identify this person.
And can any of you give as examples of any government processes or data that you think would be best made more efficient with blockchain?
I think like we currently working with project where we are trying to manage the whole cycle of waste management from production until end of life of the waste. Actually, currently, there is a regulatory body has been established. It's called Mawan, and this body is trying to regulate this kind of services. The first things came to our mind when we deal with this new market. Actually, there was not a lot of regulation in this market before, and there is a lot of black market to sell the waste management. The first things came to us in our mind is to use the smart contract to try to manage the first step of production the waste, and we manage it at the end. For the and in the middle, we try to track it where it's going here and there, and using smart contract on blockchain, I think will add a lot of value to regulate this important sector and to also get a revenue from this important sector.
And we'll end with both of you. Any final thoughts on government processes or other systems you think would be made more efficient with blockchain? Hisham?
Okay, I will give an example that I see it is very important. Nowadays in the government, we have a lot of operation. And digital transformation is consuming a lot of efforts to deliver the best services to the citizens. So if we focus on certain scenarios where we actually have the significant need to change the system from centralized database to a blockchain, we can find some. One of them is the ownership of real estate. The Ministry of Justice is working so hard on their own digital transformation to prove the ownership of everything, every document, every real estate. And everyone who would like to verify the ownership has to go through their own digital system. A blockchain would do this. It will make less operation. Companies can do that, can contribute to the ownership, proof of ownership, verification, and they can make the operation less. And the Ministry of Justice can focus on their own main tasks instead of focusing on the digital transformation, verifying, okay, this is Jimmy's land, this is Basim's apartment, this is Waleed's, let's say, house.
And you can track transfers and chain of title more efficiently without long title searches. And so finally, we'll go to Hisham. Since you can't tell us your confidential company, why don't you tell us one use of blockchain that you haven't seen started yet here in the kingdom that you'd like to see?
Something I really believe in. If you want to serve a customer, you have to know your customer. So I'm really a big believer on collecting data as much as you want. There's a lot of discussion, privacy, not privacy. You don't have to collect private data, but you need, in order for me to deliver a service for you, I need to know what do you like. So general collection of information on basic services, because you say, I want to serve my citizen. Okay, how do I serve my citizen if I don't know what they need, what they want, what they like? So collecting data in a proper way, validating this data, and maybe put a lot of restriction on private data and have public data for for private companies to actually get the knowledge of how to, serve the customer, serve the citizen.
All right. Well, thank you for your thoughts. I'll you please, audience, give them a big round of applause for their thoughts on blockchain for digital transformation in Saudi Arabia. Thank you very much.